Right, so last video, so I'll try and make this one a bit more expansive. I don't have the right for anyone to like me, but nevertheless, I don't really care whether people like me. The only way I care whether people like me or not is if it was literally everyone in the entire world hated it. It's difficult to sort of see how you could be happy, but I don't care in any other way. When people don't like me in the street, it doesn't really bother me. It's just like if the whole human race hated it. But then, no, you realise that just, that's just the sort of thing young people think that there are just kind of certain people who are just not very likable, and it's just unfortunate, and no one really, and kind of coke snorting sort of Guardian media, TV critics, and that. You realise as you get older, if you're a good person, some people will like you. Maybe not that many, but some people will. But no, it's just sort of obviously like anyone of us. I'm not sort of saying like you have to like me, but just kind of try and we can just like I don't know how to put it. We can just work together on like you know. I mean, it is just your job fundamentally at the end of the day. I do understand that you're not going to go home and lose sleep over any of us when we're getting out of hospital or anything. So, but we can just like work together and be civilized and chat and that. One of the things that's very strange about all the hospitals I've been at is no one ever mentions Movember or anything. I mean, it's absolutely surreal. People will kind of sort of indicate by pulling like handlebar moustache expressions and so on. People will, but no one ever. I mean, it's just surreal. I mean, it must be because of the super injunction, I suppose. I don't know whether you're all kind of disbarred from talking to me about it, but none of the actual substance of any of it ever gets discussed. Um, uh, I don't know what else to add to this video. I've got about 20 minutes to make it. I mean, you don't have to like me, that's entirely up to you. But just try and sort of be professional and we can kind of grind along together. And then when I get out, when I don't like someone, I usually hope that they find someone they do like, that does like. If I don't find someone attractive, I sort of hope that they eventually find someone who or the other people do think they're attractive. You may think I chat shit or whatever, but like, I can't believe any of you like begrudge me that much, or thinking like maybe he'll like find someone eventually he can learn not to chat shit with or whatever. But I can't really do that in there. Um, but anyway, I mean, theoretically, I'm nearly out. It's just it got tenser and tenser towards the end of my time actually thinking about it. Both my last hospitals, 'cause right at the very end of my time at my last hospital, there was a bit of a kind of artificial. They suddenly moved a load more people onto the ward in a very short space of time who were more kind of anti-me and created this kind of I mean, I shouldn't be saying it because I don't want to piss them off, but they did create a bit of a sort of narrative of me being rejected by everyone there. But then all the kind of key staff, all the doctors and nurses, not nurses, the doctors and the psychologists, all left in a very short space of time after I moved here. The actual key staff underneath, I'm reasonably sure I've got a reasonably good relationship. I mean, I don't feel like I know it, but it's like it felt good there, you know. But you know, it's a bit of an artificial thing where they moved some people in who weren't, and then created a bit of a kind of artificial narrative of like everyone there rejecting me. But it didn't really happen. It was just sort of because you know after the last time I absconded, it was really bad when I first got back there, like really bad. Like everyone just, but it slowly got better and better and better until it was really quite good. And then the final month or two, it just went sour again. But that was like artificially constructed, I'm pretty sure, because all the people who were parachuted in to make sure I got sent to the new hospital immediately all left again the moment I got sent to the new hospital. But all the key staff that I won't name them on them, I've already named now. All the key staff that I could do. Well, I mean, I already said I won't go on about that again. But I do really miss them all. Anyway. Even some of the staff that only arrived later. I mean, it's not just the ones who were there all the way through. Um, what time is it? Saying 8 minutes, and I've got basically 20 minutes to make this video. But all my stuff about like railing against the establishment and everything, it's because I want to help people all that. If you can make a joke out of it, then it's sort of people are going to respect it. I'm not actually particularly interested in laughing. I don't know. So I can have quite a good sense of humour. But I never quite know why, because laughing isn't so high on my agenda. I think it'd be better if we didn't have laughs. We'd all just kind of have a quick chat about everything, get everything sorted out, and grow a big orchard to live in, as I've said before. But I seem to have quite a good sense of humour for some reason. I'm never quite clear why, even though I'm not particularly interested in laughing. But so I use it to make points, you know. But it's sort of I do feel like out of all the people who really want to do something to change the world that are around at the moment, I'm like one of the I'm like I've got a good case for myself doing sort of, and I do want to, and even if I just have to get into it at a lower level, you know, just like going on marches and that, and just
Nice. Curries.
I still will. And just, tweeting and having like sort of 200 followers, you can still make a bit of a difference. Because it's not out of just kind of blinkered sort of left wing ideology. It's out of a real feeling of being able to see that the world's going to part. There was that period of time when Tony Blair first came into office where it was like things, and Bill Clinton was there, and we seemed to be getting on better with the Russians, and Boris Yeltsin was there, and kind of before him Gorbachev, and somewhere it seemed like things were just on an upward trajectory, and the forces of evil in the world had been defeated, but that's very much not the case now. And it's also far, far less the case in this country. Like I do see a need for someone to do something about it, which I may not be the leader, but I can play some part in that if I can find someone else who's a better leader than me. I mean, it's a bit like what Nigel Farage says. I mean, it's one thing I respect. I do respect things about Nigel Farage. He does come across as quite kind of genuine. He thinks for himself and he comes across as genuine. I don't mostly agree with the sort of conclusions he comes up with from his thinking. But it's like, he often says, if someone younger and better than me came along, I'd be pleased. I could just go down the pub. It's like if like a really inspiring sort of Tony Blair type leader came in and became the leader of the free world, and I could really like get behind him. Yeah, this is the person that's going to do it for us all. That'd be fine. Because then, sorry, I've been coughing, not puking up. Then I could just kind of smoke weed and do my computer game programming and have a normal life, knowing that the world is safe. It's like it's not out of I see a lot of injustice in the world, and I want to do something about it. And even if you think of in this country, talking of it, when Theresa May came into power, she talked about burning injustices, didn't she? She was really bang up for the fight, like I am, and look what they did to it. All those letters falling off the back of that stage when she was making that speech. Do you really think that happened by accident? It's people in behind poking them through in behind the stage, isn't it? Because they're desperately trying to get people to laugh at her and lampoon her because she actually wants to do something about the burning injustices. Do you really think they'd have been so lame at designing their set that they're going to design it so like all the letters behind her on the thing saying the future is the future or whatever? I mean, it would have been better than that. But they're all going to start falling off. I mean, it's like it's clearly just all thinking, Jesus Christ, she's not going to go. She actually wants to do right by the British people. And I want to do right by the British people. And I know I will get a huge amount of shit for it. And I already do get a huge amount of shit for it. But it's like, I've always been like this. And it's like I'll probably fail as well. I know that. I know I'm probably not going to like save the world. It would seem unlikely, but then miracles do occur. I've seen miracles, as I've said before. But like I said, if someone better than me comes along, I'll just get behind them. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but maybe I'm not looking in the right places. But once I can get on, I mean, I'm not allowed to contact people on Twitter now, so it makes it a bit. But I never found any that kind of that thoughtful people. Maybe I'm just not. Maybe I just don't know who to follow. I found more interesting people all the way, like kind of tattooists and clients that I managed to become friends with on Facebook. They were more interesting to me than Twitter. They were tattooists and tattooist clients. I don't even know where they were from. Like, that thing. I'm actually looking to myself. It's actually look a bit better today. I don't look so burkish and beany. But it's like, even if I'm ugly, I'm willing to just be like an ugly politician. It's like I'm passionate, like, probably the leader that I respect most out of all the recent politicians is John Major, because he didn't. All that stuff where they made the puppet all grey on Spitting Image, that made that grey puppet of him and everything. He didn't care because he was passionate. He was trying to do the right thing for the country. And he went, he's a very, very, very strong man. And he was actually, that was back in the days when politicians were actually sort of in charge themselves to a degree. They weren't just told what to say by spin doctors and so on. It's like, he did a lot of good for this country. Looking back, really, I wish he'd won in 1997. I'm willing to be like that if I have to be. I don't feel the need to be like some glamorous kind of Justin Trudeau type politician. And obviously it'd be better if like all this stuff said about the way I look. Obviously, I'd rather be attractive. Anyone would, but if I'm not, it wouldn't bother me that much. It wouldn't crush my sort of, passion and joy. Because, it hurts. Seeing other people get hurt hurts me, so it's something I need, you know. Like, it's horrible seeing people suffer. So it's like, it's something I need to do for other people, but for myself as well. There's nothing like seeing some really, like, joyful expression on someone's face, just filled with kind of joyful ecstasy. But the way we're going as a world, there may not be any more of that after a certain amount of time. I suppose I better go back now. I've got to be back in about like 5 minutes. It's about 5 minutes. Or when I never end on a flourish. I'm no good at ending on flourish. But it's no, like I said, for I need it. I'm not just doing it to try and like prove something. Why?